Smart Cookie Katie Dunsworth with me. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
November is Financial Literacy Month.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean?
It means this is a month if you're going to learn more, good information about how to be smarter with your money. This is the month to do it, and there's tons of information that comes out this month. But I think it's a good time to just look at trends sort of across all the generations and what's being done to sort of advocate for financial literacy.
Are we mostly financially illiterate?
Yeah. Well, when you think about it, the average person in BC carries about $28,000 of consumer debt. So that's not great.
Including mortgage.
No,
or
that's
car?
just debt.
Wow.
Yeah, bad debt. So just in general, BC is not great, but Canada, the US, we all need to be better with our money.
Okay.
And that was really where the Smart Cookies and the idea of, we're 5 friends who came together to say, I'm embarrassed to say, I don't know what a mutual fund is, or should I be investing in them, and I actually have a lot of debt, and how do I get out of it? I didn't really feel like I had anyone to turn to. Probably I should have learned that in school, didn't. Probably my parents should have taught that to me, missed that. So the idea of peer-to-peer learning, which is essentially what a money group is, or this is something that we're seeing more and more. There's a new website that's launching this month called iwishiknew.ca, and what's cool is it's just very much video-based. So people who are sharing their financial lessons, good and bad, just saying, I wish I knew that if I got a mortgage at 18%, and whatever. So they're sharing that kind of information. So I think for the first 10 people that enter, there's a $200 giveaway, and it's just a great place to go to just see what other people have learned and have to share. And I think even if you were thinking about the idea of a money group, this might be a good month to look at it because there is so much information available to you. So,
what about university students? I know so many university students carry so much debt.
Yeah. Well, the study that came out recently, so again, this is a BC-based study by Sands and Associates. These guys looked at just university students, 18 to 25 was the age catchment. And what they found was they actually didn't carry a ton of debt. Over 50% were completely parent-funded, meaning they were living at home, living off mom and dad. And then when they started to ask basic financial literacy questions like, how much do you think you're going to be making once you get out of university, and what kind of debt will you expect to carry, and when do you think you'll pay that off? Their numbers were so out of whack, it was a bit concerning. So I think what this study found was that university students, while they're not taking out loans in the amount that we necessarily thought, they're not preparing themselves for what it costs to actually live in a city like Vancouver, for example, where the cost of living is high. They're probably not going to be making as much as they thought they did. And so, that's something, again, where I don't think it's bad to learn those lessons. Obviously, it's not great to go into debt, but I think having to pay back a bank instead of paying back the bank of mom and dad makes you a little bit more accountable and a little bit more in touch with the real world.
Right, and there's lots of help online as well.
Yeah. So there's some great online tools. I think one that's really it's new and interesting for younger people in particular. This has a number of scenarios that run you through things like, especially now in sort of the digital age, people and students, and it's computers and iPhones and the latest gadgets. So it runs you through just all kinds of scenarios, which lets you sort of pick and choose the situations. So the situation is called Dollar Decisions, and the website is getsmarteraboutmoney.ca. And just really good. It's a good tool, if you're a parent that wants to just get your kid to try it out, make some choices, see where they come out. It shows you what the scenario would be if you chose one route versus the other, and where you'd save the most.
And really quickly too, seniors as well, not so prepared for retirement.
No, and this breaks my heart because I think after working for a lifetime, this is really where you want to be able to retire. What we're seeing is that more seniors now are going back to work in sort of entry-level jobs, and they're not necessarily going back full-time, but they are still needing to work to be able to afford the cost of living. This is also a generation that, there's more information now showing that that they're being taken advantage of in investment scams and different, there's all kinds of different ways that people are trying to defraud people. So this generation, unfortunately, is really having to work hard to just maintain the cost of living. And again, it goes back to the importance of financial literacy and just knowing what it costs to live well and be able to retire and do it all within your means.
I read an interesting article the other day saying, we're living so much longer these days. Yeah. People have these bars that say, if you retire at 65, this is how much money to keep this lifestyle, whatever you're going to need. But now they're tacking 10 years onto that, and it's costing a lot more money.
Yeah, and what we're seeing too is that your kids are living at home longer than your parents. Are getting sick, and who knows what kind of situation that might look like, where you're having to pay for health care, and it's costly. So this is the month to just learn more, get fit financially. You can do it.
Thanks, Katie. Check out Smart Cookies on Twitter or on their website, smartcookies.com.